We at Paul Yaffe shop in Arizona, man. Hey, thanks to this guy right here, AP, man. He done plugged this up, you know what I mean? I never thought I'd meet Paul Yaffe in my life while going to the shop, but I'm here right now, and I'm really happy to do this. We at Paul Yaffe shop, Bagger Nation, you know what I mean? So a lot of y'all done bought his bike parts or seen him on TV or whatever, but we here live in person right now, so I'm just gonna go in this shop and check it out and see how you get in on HDTV. So first you was building choppers, right?
Yeah, we do ground up. We've been doing ground up customs for 25 years. Yeah, we've had full lines of frames and full chassis and everything. I couldn't believe how many people came by the shop every day to see how it was coming along. I was like, God, people don't come by this much for my $100,000 choppers. They don't come with this much. So I started thinking that the bagger thing was finally hitting. So we did a little catalog and started doing some parts. And
so that's
3 years later, it's
Bagger Nation.
That's where Bagger Nation came out.
That's where it came from? Yep. So you came in with the name Bagger Nation?
Yeah.
That was cool right there.
And it's funny too because I did a dash and I did like a rear fender with some lights in the bags and a little French, and I made some parts for the baggers then and put them in my catalog, in my chopper catalog. Couldn't sell one of them. 12, 15 years ago I had written all that stuff off as a loss, and then when I did the Bagger Nation thing I pulled that stuff back out of the container and put it in the Bagger Nation catalog and selling it now. Yeah.
This bike right here though, say West Coast Choppers. Like
this is actually Jesse's bike. He's a friend of mine, but this one was built for Goldberg, the wrestler, and he didn't like riding it, so I'll leave it at that.
Why you didn't like it?
I think the first time he rode it, he put it into a tree and said, "This isn't for me." So it had a jockey shift on it and a foot clutch. So he sold it to some guy in Canada who called us and asked us if we would take the jockey shift off and make it a regular hand clutch foot shift. So we put the controls on it and put the stuff on it. And now we're just waiting for him to send a truck for it.
What is your best selling part?
The monkey bars are the big. That's probably our #1 part. We do great. You know, we do a lot of stretch tanks. We do a lot of body kits. We do a ton of rake kits. Everybody's raking their bikes now. So I mean, my catalog. There's no dogs in my catalog. It's 100 pages of bagger stuff, and then we've got about 50 new products that we're going to introduce this fall. All kinds of new stuff. So we're not stopping.
Yeah, when you rake a bagger, do it right different than it's not being raked.
It rides better.
It rides better.
It rides better. They're more stable. You can ask AP. They're way more stable at highway speeds. You know, baggers. Sometimes people talk about that wobble. It's gone on a raked one. Yeah, when you stretch the wheelbase out. When you're slow in turns or whatever, like the first time you get on it and ride it, you probably feel it a little more. You just feel the size of the tire because it's a big wheel, especially 26s and stuff. You feel that big wheel out there when it's spinning. But when you're cruising in canyons and everything, it feels great. I mean, I build a bike every year and ride it to Sturgis. So I do that every year. Like this, I built. This was my 2008 Sturgis bike. I rode this to Sturgis with Susie on the back in 2008. We were on this bike going through that lake. And we came around a corner, and you know when you come around a corner, you dip down real hard, and there was a rock there, like a cliff, so it was a blind corner. And as we came around the corner, I got right down on the double yellow line, and then a dump truck, a big dirt truck, came around the corner the other way, and he was going too fast, and he was kind of a little bit over the double yellow line. So we came around like that, and he came like this, and his mirror hit the button on the top of my hat, and took my head off my head. If I had been sitting up an inch more, that thing would have took my head right up. And Susie was remembering that. I go, remember when that hit my button and took my hat right off? Yeah, it scared the hell out of me.
Thank God, we wouldn't have been interviewing him today. I probably would have been talking to Susie or some shit.
Yeah, I would have. This is the bike that kind of started all the rake stuff. This is the first bike we raked. This is when we were just experimenting with trail and figuring out how the bikes would handle real good and what it would do. So. On this bike, what we did is we cut the frame. We added 7 degrees of rake in the neck of the frame, and then there's a measurement called trail, which is the relationship of your fork and your trees and your front wheel to your bike and how it balances. So you have to have a correct trail measurement for the bike to handle right. Otherwise, it'll be all over the place and squirrely. So
how did you, like that right there? How did you learn that? How did you figure that whole trail thing out?
Well, trail's an engineering term. It's basically calculus, and it's just something as you when you grow up and you're doing hot rods and motorcycles, and that's what I grew up with. And you're talking to different people who design and manufacture motorcycles and stuff. Trail measurement it's almost like you know, if you were building a car engine and you knew the clearance for the rings, you know, you knew that you had to have 10 thousandths end gap on your rings.
This is one of your custom rims here?
Yes, that's a legacy wheel. Yeah, that's a wheel we make with Performance Machine.
Yeah.
It's a three-dimensionally cut wheel. It's cut from a solid plate of aluminum. So a lot of wheels we make are cut from discs. It's a forged disc, but this isn't. This is a 400-pound plate of aluminum. Then this is three-dimensionally cut out of it, which is why we can get these big flat spots on it and stuff. So it's a very elaborate wheel. It's on the expensive side of wheels. So yeah, then these brakes. These are a friend of mine, Dale Nealman, invented those brakes. They're called 360 brakes.
Yeah, I like those a lot.
Yeah, he's actually, he's not making them right now. He's looking for some backing to expand his company. I was just on the phone with him yesterday getting some pads for these. But
those brakes are nice, right?
Yeah, they work good. They work good.
They show the whole rim.
Yeah, it
the
makes
whole
it look
design of the rim.
empty and naked. Yep.
Look really good. I like that a lot. So what else you do to this bike? It got a lot of little tricks on it.
It has billet forks. That's from a company called Rooster Performance. It's got flare windshield on it, which you keep a low windshield, but the flip keeps the wind off you. Brian Clock makes that. These are our world famous monkey bars. That's got our stretch tank, our dash.
These are your mirrors, right?
Yep, those are our mirrors, our levers, our grips. It's got, it's funny, at the time, it's got a 4-speaker, 300-watt stereo system in it, which at the time in '08, it was mind-blowing. Everybody was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." Now the stuff we're doing is ridiculous, but this was state of the art 2 years ago. So yeah, it's funny how quick things change. Now we make our audio lids that have 6x9s in your lids, and then now we're pumping it up. The stereos are a big market. We do a lot of stereo stuff. So.
Yeah. These are floorboards also, right?
Yep, those are the banana boards. That's our brake lever, our pedals. These are double back headers, and we drilled the holes. Gave them a kind of a cool look.
Why do you call them double back?
Because it's just a name. It's just a clever name. It's because there's two separate headers heading back. Stock Harleys come with a header that's two pipes going to one pipe, then back out into two. These ones are two separate pipes. Okay. So yeah.
Will give it a different sound or performance?
Oh sure, it gives it more separation. It gives it more separation in the exhaust because each cylinder is breathing completely independently. There's no scavenge. And Brian Clock makes those headers, and the double back name is just something clever he came up with. We all try to come up with clever names, help sell our stuff.
This is something I want to point out. I love when you do this right here. What made you come with that right here?
Those are our wedgie lights. Well, I made this mirror. This mirror, I made this in 1998. It's been one of our best-selling mirrors for the past, 15 years or something. This has been a great selling mirror of ours. It's always a shape that I've liked. So, so then when it came time to make taillights, I thought it'd be cool to make taillights that match our mirrors because we use a lot of those mirrors. So we did the wedgie lights.
That's really nice.
Yeah, we tried different shapes. I come up with different stuff. We did a spade, we did a skull, and some stuff sells really good and stays in our catalog, and some stuff I'll try it for a year and doesn't sell that well, and we'll move on and do something else. So
is
always
this
trying to do
primer?
Yeah, this is regular old epoxy primer. Yeah. This bike. What happened with this bike is I was building it, and a show was coming up in Austin that I wanted to take it to because nobody had seen a rake bag. I mean, it was really in '08. This was mind blowing. So I really wanted to take it to the show, but we ran out of time. So I just hit it real quick with primer. And then one of my painter guys, Gary, was over here one night. And he was like, I can just come over and goof around and put some graphics on it or something. I'll stripe it up. And so he did. He came over and striped it up, but it looked really shiny, and I didn't like it. I was like, no, man, it looks new. It just did. So I took a sanding wheel to it and I hit it with a sander and scuffed everything up and made it look really old.
So you wanted to have that rough look?
Yeah, I wanted it to look like it was an old 50s hot rod or something. So I scuffed it all up and whatever, and I just did it so I could take it to the show in Texas. And then when I came back, I was going to paint it. But when I came back from the show in Texas, this guy called me and said, "I'm buying that bike. I want it just like it is. I don't want you to touch it."
Let's go to this bike right here. You built this bike here?
Yes, I did. This is my partner Brad's bike.
Okay, what size rim is that?
That's a 26.
Man, it looks really big, man.
Yeah, it is a big.
So you made this custom wraparound fender, 26?
That's one of our steel fenders. Yeah, that's one of the products we offer. Yeah, it's called a Thickie fender. I make it in a 21, a 23, or a 26.
Yeah. Who painted this bike for you?
This is AJ's Customs. AJ, a guy named JC. Did this bike.
He's here in Arizona.
Yes, yeah, he's done. He did this bike. He did the trailer, the Rockford trailer over there. Yeah. When you guys coming back, you'll see some other paint jobs we're putting up on him. He does all of our customs.
You make this fairing here?
I do. That's my fairing. Yep.
And like, what made you put these holes in there?
That's very cool.
Cause they look something different.
Got this neat looking. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, do you just sit? How you come up with a lot of ideas? You just sit around and just think like, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna try this, or like, how you come up with your ideas?
They just come to me. I'm just lucky. I'm lucky that what occurs to me is that I think is cool. A lot of people agree with it, and they think it's cool too. So that's luck. Because I can come up with a whole bunch of ugly stuff just as easy. I can come up with a whole bunch of good looking stuff.
You got some good luck. Because a lot of things you do I really like.
This is a Street Glide. It's been raked 9 in the neck and 9 in the trees. It's got a 26-inch wheel on it. This is our one of our fairings. It's kind of cool. It's got little turn signals hidden in. It's got little LED turn signals hidden in the fairing. Those are our super bright LEDs. So that's a real neat little stealthy thing. Again, our monkey bars. This bike has our stretch tank, our stretch bags. It's got full stereo. It's got 6.5-inch component setup, full line stuff. This is all new stereo stuff we're playing with, new Rockford stuff we're developing. It's got our full stretch fenders, everything, the whole body is ours. This bike, everything that's custom on this bike is in our catalog. You could build this exact bike just by flipping through the pages of our catalog. You could buy every single thing that's on this bike, you could buy out of our book. So I
like how this bike looks, man. I like the whole style of it, how it sits. Like, it just flows. It just really flows. That's a great ride?
It's a great ride, yeah. I do a lot of stereo development with Rockford Phosphate. They're a local Phoenix company, so we're coming out with, we came out with a whole new line of motorcycle-specific amps and speakers and stereo setups for the guys for the bagger. So we just introduced it. The amps just got released about 2 weeks ago, and they're selling like crazy. So what I did is when they wanted to promote our relationship, so they said, okay, yeah, you need to come up with something ridiculous that we can take to shows. So I built a Road Glide. I had 18 speakers on the Road Glide, and then I had this trailer connects to it. Come on over here, and then this trailer hooks to it, and then this trailer plugs into the bike, and then I've got another 1,850 watts of power in this trailer. And when this thing hits, it's ridiculous. When this thing lights up, it's game over. It's crazy.
Show us some other good stuff.
Come on, I'll walk you through some other rooms. Bikes are getting ready to go to Sturgis. They're all getting custom paint put on them, different levels of customizing. That bike just got is a Road Glide that just got raked. We're putting a 23-inch wheel on it. You can see Lee is getting ready to mount that wheel. This is Mike Ballard, the guy who owns the Full Throttle Saloon. He's got that show on True TV. Full Throttle. This is his new bike.
That's Road Glide also?
This is a Road Glide. This is the new Full Throttle Saloon bike. You can come over here and check out a full digital media center. It'll have 6.5s here, 6.5s in the sidewalls. It'll have 6x9s in the saddlebags, and then it's got a 10-inch subwoofer in the tour pack, in the skinny tour pack. It's got a 10-inch subwoofer.
What is this?
It's a digital media center, and basically what it is something me and Rockford developed something we're testing. It's not really, we haven't really started selling them yet because we're still testing them. But what it is, it's an AM/FM radio. It's a 250 watt amplifier. It's full iPod ready. Your iPod, there's an iPod hookup that goes in the glove box. So you can just plug your iPod in it. It gives you, it'll read all your iPod information, so you can view it from there. You can load 10,000 MP3s in it if you want. So, and then it's completely Sirius satellite ready too. So you can put a Sirius box in there and have your Sirius satellite from it too. So the only thing it doesn't have is a CD player.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's the only thing it doesn't have, but it's a complete. Every other kind of digital music you can get fits in that thing, and it's a very small little box. And it's going to be this whole thing when it's ready for sale is going to be $198.
That's all. That's cheap.
Yeah,
I know you're gonna say like 1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, this is nice. That is nice, man. You're real creative.
And then the new amps are 344 watt 4-channel amps, $199. Yeah, in stock today.
Pretty good. Yeah, get them. Gotta get them.
This one's kind of cool. My new bike, that's an 11 Road Glide that I'm going crazy on.
Yeah.
That one I just did a whole drop seat. You can see where I dropped the seat 3 inches with one of the FBI kits. I made a custom pointed tank. I made these exhaust tips and I Frenched them all into the bags.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So that's going to be really slick.
Yeah.
Come look at the fairing. I took the fairing, I put a headlight out of Suzuki in it.
Yeah.
It's taped up right now because I'm doing all the fab work on the fairing, but that'll end up having that Suzuki GSXR headlight in it. And I
You
grabbed
know what
the
it kind of looks like from here? Kind of like a bird face.
That's a lot of people have said that.
It does.
So
It looks like a bird face from
yeah,
here.
I'm sure it's
For some reason, that looks crazy. Like, you gotta get this right here. You know what I mean?
Road Glide that the guy had us add a sidecar to.
Yeah.
And then he just wasn't satisfied with having the sidecar. He wanted something a little extra. So he had us build a whole custom frame for this thing. He had us section out the swing arm. There's 9 separate airbags on this bike. So that's what he wanted. The whole bike jumps. The whole thing lays out.
That is hard. That is hard. That is crazy right there. I'm really digging this right here, man. This is tight right here. Now this is something like, he'll take this to bike night or something. People talk about this
people go
forever,
crazy
man.
here. Yeah, the whole thing rolls up. So and he came in and said, I want my bike to hop, you know, and I want a sidecar. So first we had to find a sidecar and then mount it and figure out how to put it on this bike. And then creating all of that airbag stuff is all one-of-a-kind stuff.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah.
a lot of head scratching, figuring out how you're going to do it. I mean, there's airbags. There's complete billet cylinders that are inside those forks that we had to manufacture and develop.
Yeah.
This whole ram here, this whole ram system here, and this whole frame for this sidecar is all one-off. It's all handmade stuff.
Yeah.
And then I had to cut holes in the buggy, and then I had to fit airbags in the buggy and make plates to hold those airbags.
Yeah.
And then I had to section the whole swing arm, and there's a big car airbag underneath the swing arm too. It doesn't have shocks anymore like a regular Harley would. It's
Yeah.
got, you know, the shocks are gone. It just has a single airbag.
So you said it still
There's
rides.
a lot of engineering.
So yeah, exactly. So you said it still ride good and everything.
Oh yeah, it rides great. Yeah, we rode it over to Bike Week. I rode it in this shape over to Bike Week and had it over there, showing it off to people.
Why is it so wide up there?
Yeah, well, there's a fender there'll be a fender on this.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we actually had a fender mounted on it, but then when now the way the ram swings and drops it, the whole fender swings forward, so it looks silly. So I got to figure out a way to make the fender float. So even though the car goes up and down, the fender stays in the same place.
Yeah.
More engineering.
Yeah. More late night thoughts.
More of that stuff. So
Yeah, that is crazy, man. I'm really impressed with this.
so actually, when it's all done, it'll have a remote, so he can pull it in up. You know, he can pull it in. He can pull it in up. So that's the bike laying down. That's the whole sidecar laying down.
It was a pleasure meeting you. I swear, man. This is really cool right here. So give a shout out to anybody you want to, man, before we wrap this thing up.
Well, let's just shout out to my wife, Susie. Thank you for all the support. All you bikers out there, keep it on the road, man. Get on the ground.
That's what's up.
See you out there.
Yeah, Bagger Nation, HDTV, man. We out of here. Paul Yaffe, AP in the house right here. Thanks to him. We out here doing this. So we doing this. HDTV and behind the camera. Y'all know me, I'm Ronnie. We out in Arizona. It's hot today, but what's hot is that bike right there. That's crazy, man. Only on HDTV.